Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian. With the prosecution resting its case, defense attorneys begin their cross-examination in the bribery trial of former Cabinet Minister Shane Gibson. Our BJ McDermott is following the case and has this report.
Day 6 of the high-profile bribery case of former Cabinet Minister Shane Gibson continuing today, with the defense cross-examining the prosecution's key witness, Jonathan Ash. In cross-examination, lead defense attorney Keith Knight QC asked Ash if he was related to Deborah Bastian, to which he answered no. He was also asked when did he first meet Bastian. To that, Ash said he met Bastian for the first time after Jack Thompson sent him to speak with her in January 2017. Knight then asked if he recalls having any phone conversations with Bastian in 2016, to which Ash said he didn't recall. The defense then referred to call logs between the two, which indicated they had 33 conversations between November 2016 and January 2017, in some instances more than 5 times in a day. When asked if he recalled any of the 33 calls or text messages, Ash again said no and maintained he did not meet Bastian before Thompson sent him to her. Knight also asked if Mr. Raming, one of the chief engineers of the Ministry of Works, demanded any money from him. Ash said no, adding that he gave Raming between $12,000 and $15,000 to be a blessing. Knight then questioned Ash on statements given to the police. When questioned on the statements, Ash said he gave one statement to the police regarding 2 different parties. The police later told him that the statements needed to be separated to address each party individually. Knight then asked if the discussion between Ash, Bastian, ACP Thompson, Alicia Bowe, and a Mr. Roll happened before he signed the statements. Ash then said he did not recall a Mr. Roll being in the room. When asked if Bastian had a lawyer present, Ash said that now that it was mentioned, he did recall Bastian having a lawyer, but did not know the lawyer's name. The Jamaican QC then asked him if he recalled ACP Thompson introducing all parties to each other at the time, and Ash said no. The purpose of the meeting, Ash further disclosed, was because he was saying one thing in his statement and Bastian was saying something totally different. He added that ACP Thompson did not bring them together to synchronize their statements. He said Thompson brought them together because she wanted to know the truth. Additionally, Ash was asked by the lead defense attorney if he gave Bastian some lunch money totaling between $800 and $900. He said yes, but he could not pinpoint the exact amount. He said he did it to be a blessing to someone who seemed to be helping him out. Court resumes Friday morning at 10:30. Reporting for JCN News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Of the 1,721 households assessed in Grand Bahama, so far officials have found that 26 were insured, 74 uninsured, 238 homes were destroyed, 704 sustained major damage, and 222 minor damage. The National Emergency Management Agency's latest update also revealing that the Grand Bahama Power Company's efforts have been hampered by bushfires that have led to outages in 3 areas, compromising some of the poles just installed. There is an added concern about the use of generators in homes. Residents are forewarned that they should remain outside and used with a power cord and not connected directly to the structure. In terms of security, the Defense Forces' efforts will be reduced by 1/3, this considering the contingent from Trinidad and Tobago will leave on Friday. The hope is that a request has been submitted for an extension. Meantime, a lot of numbers tossed around, but give it a few weeks and the government will have a clearer picture of the dollar value Hurricane Dorian's impact has had on the country's gross domestic product. It's a task that has been left in the hands of a specific group. A team of 40 local and international experts are on the ground overseeing an economic and social impact assessment. According to the Prime Minister, the team, led by the Inter-American Development Bank and the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, was on Grand Bahama on Tuesday and on Wednesday Abaco. After visiting each of the affected islands and speaking with local and national authorities and private sector entities, it will analyze the data.
Through this process, we are factoring in all of the businesses that were damaged and can no longer generate economic activity, whether in the medium or long term. We are factoring in all the critical infrastructure that has to be rebuilt: roads, bridges, seawalls, utility systems, etc. And of course, we are factoring the cost of temporary and long-term housing and other socio-economic needs. The assessment will put a dollar value on all of the damages, revenue losses, and other costs to the government and private sector.
This will be followed up by the IDB presenting a strategic plan on the way forward on rebuilding the affected islands.
The data, Mr. Speaker, will be categorized in the three main sectors that sustained widespread and generalized damage and destruction. The social sector is broken down into health, housing, and education. The infrastructure consists of transportation, power, telecommunications, and water. The productive sector is mainly split between tourism and fisheries industries.
Meantime, more monetary donations, the United Nations Development Programs, to contribute $1 million to recovery efforts. As the Prime Minister explained, the money is to guarantee technical assistance for crucial areas. At last count, the National Emergency Management Agency had collected $5.1 million in donations. The Prime Minister also using Wednesday's communication in the House of Assembly to thank the various world leaders who have shown their support for the Bahamas. Among them, His Royal Highness Prince Charles, U.S. President Donald Trump, Prime Minister of Canada Justin Trudeau, and Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. To those who visited, he was equally grateful. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.